going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings to everyone out there in the YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host, once again, Dan Thornton. Hey, want to thank you all for waking up this morning for Lions Talk Live Morning Show Edition. And you know what? While the weather outside might be frightful, Detroit Lions' future might be very delightful. I don't know. It might be pretty good. So we're going to, in the main topic of the day, talk about some draft picks that I think have some potential. We'll see what you guys have to say about working out for the Detroit Lions, even though as of yet you could, objectively say they haven't gone as well, or at least as planned. Whether they just need more time to develop, whether or not they're just injured 50,000 different times, whatever it is, we're going to analyze how these draft picks over the last couple draft classes, if they do pan out, how much does it really impact the Detroit Lions' future? I think we're all going to agree on a few of these guys. They could help out quite a bit. We'll go through that during the main top of the day. There are going to be some that will probably have you throwing stones at your computers or TV screen because they weren't really good. And then there's going to be others who would say, maybe that guy's got a chance. We'll get into that momentarily. All right, before we get into that, before we get into the 5 headlines now, before we get into the Dew Crew comment section, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are just 21 subs away from hitting 16,200. Yes, that means we're roughly only 85,000 behind Micro Mike. We're trying to catch him. 85,000 subs. Anyways, also, if you could be so kind while hitting that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more. Thumbs up or likes. Last but never least, if you're considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan where I reside, then go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You can be in the United States of America as well. You see the number on my screen, 269-998-2384. We'll have a conversation, see what I can do to use over 30 years in the real estate industry, save you time, hassle, money, the whole shebang-a-bang. Make sure nobody, misses anything on your number sheets. Make sure nobody slips in some extra charges so you have to pay somebody else's bills, all that kind of stuff. Reach out to me. We'll go from there and see what all we can do for you. All right, with all that done, out of the way, let's get the show rock and rolling and going forward and getting started with 5 headlines now. Sometimes I forget to turn that music down a little bit. All right, 5 headlines now, starting off with breaking down Detroit Lions 2 massive off-season decisions at the running back spot. SB Nation story by Jeremy Risman. You know what? He's right, I think, and he's spot on with this. The biggest one on this list is what do you do with Dave Montgomery? There are a lot of rumors saying he's okay with staying now that the offense coordinators have been assigned. And yes, I said coordinators because I do think to a certain degree you're going to have both Drew and Mike making decisions about the Lions offense. Let's look at the running back recap numbers for this year. Montgomery, not the greatest season for him, but some of that was just because of underusage, in my humble opinion. He had 716 yards rushing, which was 30th in the NFL, 4.5 yards per carry. Now, that was 21st. 8 rushing touchdowns. That was tied for 12th. Let's see, 48.1 rushing success rate. That's 35th in the NFL. And 192 receiving yards, 37th for running backs in the NFL. Gibbs, conversely, had 1,223 rushing yards, 7th in the NFL, 5 yards per carry, 8th, 13 rushing touchdowns, tied for 4th. Surprising that it was that low. 4th place. Let's see, 48.1 rushing success rate, so the exact same as Dave Montgomery, and 616 yards receiving, which was 3rd in the NFL. First things first, Dave Montgomery, what do you do with him for next year? I think just about everybody watching the show is going to say, hey, you got to find a way to keep this train going, keep him a part of the offense. I think that would be most ideal. We'll see if the Lions do that. The second part is, what do you do with Gibbs and his contract? You guys know he's up for a contract extension. Will the Lions do it? And if so, what's that going to cost? We'll have to wait and see what happens this offseason. I think most Lions fans, maybe not all, would agree the Lions have potentially one of the best tandems for running backs in the NFL. And breaking the band up would not be ideal for this franchise, either the upcoming season or going beyond that. Can you make it work? Depends on who you're asking, who you listen to, because we all get it. You're hearing stuff that Dave Montgomery wants out. He wants to be more of the feature back. Didn't really like this past year. You're also hearing that maybe with the new OCs, that you can kind of mitigate things and get back to where we once were with the Sonic and Knuckles. We're going to have to wait and see what shakes out in the upcoming offseason. All right, next one on this list here. Former Detroit Lions passing game coordinator departs Jets. SI.com story by John Macarone. About 50,000 of you guys sent this over to me, and I was like, I'm going to save it for the morning show. Just because, Tanner Ekstrand, was I surprised last year that he didn't take over the OC spot? My simple answer to you guys would be yes, because he was groomed for, I want to say, about 2 seasons to be Ben Johnson's right-hand man, the heir apparent, all that kind of stuff. And then he didn't get the job. Aaron Glenn quickly took him, and now we can say in hindsight, maybe the Lions were right not to take him. I don't know. Maybe the Jets situation was just that bad, but what we do know is if you really want to keep familiarity, then you usually, as an OC or head coach, you develop somebody to be the replacement for the guy. That replacement, Ekstrand, just didn't sign with the Detroit Lions. It does sound like, looking back at reports last year, MCDC did consider giving him the OC job. There are alleged reports that Ekstrand said, or Tanner said, hey, the Jets are offering me this amount of money. Can you match it, supersede it? MCDC didn't like the fact that he came back and said, hey, he's trying to play both guys against each other. And I think that probably rubbed Big Dan wrong because, Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell are very close friends. I understand that Aaron Glenn had to make decisions based on his situation, not worry about the Detroit Lions. Sort of like Ben Johnson took a bunch of support staff from the Detroit Lions. It is what it is. It's part of the world of coaching. Ekstrand now, though, he's a free agent, I guess you could say. Could he come back to the Detroit Lions? I'm not so sure. I just think because of what you have in Mike Kafka and then also Drew Petzing that, maybe there's just not room for him. Although maybe the Lions really liked him. They could create a coaching position for him. Then a lot of it, I think, is going to come down to what does Ekstrand get offered from other teams. Could Ben Johnson come knocking on his door, somebody he's already worked closely with for several years? I think that's a possibility, but let this thing play out over the next couple of weeks. All right, next to the 5 headlines down. Predicting what Jahmyr Gibbs' contract extension will be with the Detroit Lions. This is from Yahoo Sports. Woo, baby. How much can this guy get paid? Well, he could get paid a whole lot. I think we all get Gibbs is not going to depart the Detroit Lions in any way, shape, or form. They hit on a draft pick that 90% of probably the NFL thought was a bust when it happened for the Detroit Lions. Or what are you doing? Trading out of the number 6 spot, trading into the number 12, and then picking a running back of all people. Well, what we can say now is he's a generational talent and somebody that's panned out extremely well for the Lions. Gibbs may be, an argument could be made that he is the best complete running back in the NFL when it comes to receiving, rushing, etc. Yes, the Lions offensive line didn't do Montgomery or Gibbs any justice. You could say Jared Goff also didn't get done justice last year. What we do know is he's going to get paid. The question is going to come down to how much are you going to pay him? Why is the extension inevitable? Recent Detroit Lions history shows us all. Brad Holmes pays his own. If you're drafted by this team, you pan out for this team, you put in the work, they know what they have familiarity with you, they know how you practice, etc. They're going to keep you. We already gave you the 25 season numbers. So the current market, let's kind of look at people roughly in the same segue as Gibbs. We know Saquon Barkley has got the best deal out there for a running back, averaging $20.5 million a season, total value of $41.2 million. Christian McCaffrey, $38 million per year. Now it's a 19 average. Derrick Henry, 15 on the average, 30 a year. Jonathan Taylor, $42 million total value, while $14 a year. So is that basically where he's going to be? My guess is, or at least according to the story, I should say, they're expecting Gibbs is going to command somewhere around 4 years, $80 million. $20 million per year average. That seems in line with the gentleman we just offered you. Cap structure that aligns with Detroit's championship window. Extension beginning the year of 2027. Whew. Could that be? I think if you get him for that, you're probably looking at that deal looking like a bargain sooner versus later. So we'll have to pay attention, but you're probably looking at Gibbs getting somewhere right around $20 million or so a year on average. He's going to get paid whether he's here or there or somewhere else. So I'm guessing you're probably going to go ahead and pay him. All right, next to the 5 glorious headlines now. The 4 things new Lions OC Drew Petzing must fix in 26 more than anything else. A to Z Sports, Big Mike Payton with this one. Are there just 4 things he needs to fix? Well, let's walk through it. How about this one? First one on the list, I think most of you would agree with this. It would be the third quarter woes. We all saw it with our own eyes. Lions would look very good at times. And the third quarter would happen. Look at the Rams game where we finished with negative yards for the quarter. And then the following week, we followed that up with 1 yard total. Lions dug themselves a hole early and often against some very good teams. And I think we'd all agree if you take away those third quarters, the Lions could have beat the Rams. They could have beat Pittsburgh. They could have beat the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, you go through a laundry list of their losses and how many of those losses are tied to coming out completely flat in the third quarter. If Petzing or Kafka or whoever else you want to say is running the show for the Detroit Lions offense, if they can figure that out alone while maintaining the other 3 quarters, you're probably going to agree it's a good season for the Detroit Lions offense at least. Converting on third downs is next on this list. In 2024, the Lions were 4th in the league in converting on third down. They did it 46, we'll just say round up very slightly and say 47% of the time. Conversely, in 25, you want to know why you go from 15-2 to 9-8? Well, in 25, the Lions plummeted to 19th in the league, converting just, I'm going to round up very slightly here and say 39% of the time. Now, that may not seem like a significant drop-off, but now play the math over the entire season, let alone a single game. You're dropping 10 points in conversion rate on third downs. You know what that means? You got more fourth downs. The defense is on the field more. The defense was not a strength of the team this year. And when you're not converting, you're not scoring points. So Petzing had the Cardinals at 9th in the league in converting last year and 8th in 2024. So something that could really pan off for the Detroit Lions. Maybe that alone is a reason why Dan Campbell said, we need to look at this guy. Next on the list, fixing goal-to-goal situation. Lions really struggled in goal-to-goal situations in 25. They were 16th in the league when they got to the 10-yard line or close to the end zone. Despite the Cardinals' struggles, they were still 3rd in the league in 25. So again, why did we want Big Drew in the house? Well, look at these 2 numbers alone. These are big numbers when played out over the course of all the different games that are in the regular season. And if we had numbers anything like Arizona in these 2 regards, how much closer to the playoffs do you think we would have been? We just missed the playoffs. Could we have been in the playoffs? My personal opinion is yes. Save Dan Campbell from himself. This is the last one of these 4 topics here. And then I would agree with it. In my opinion, Dan Campbell showed that he was evolving as a coach the longer we went into the season. We all know there were different games. He couldn't stop himself from being the riverboat gambler, rolling the dice on 4th down. That Philadelphia game was probably the coup de grace of it all. He got in his own way over and over and over again. And yet the Lions barely lost that game. So if whoever the OC is, and I'm just going to say Petzing at this point, if he can just get the team to punt or to convert more on third downs, so we have less 4th downs where we roll the dice, you probably have done your job in droves. All right, last of the 5 glorious headlines now. What we learned about Lions Mike Kafka from expert Giants reporter, Detroit Lions on SI, John Macaron with this one. So talking to different reporters, especially when you got a guy that left one organization, comes over to another one to, a new role. Let's see what the New York media had to say about him. When they talk about his temperament on offense, they say, hey, he's very even-keeled. You can see the calming effect he had on Jackson Dart and, Jameson Winston, etc. talk about his ability to work with players, the way the players respected him. And to me, that's a big one. Not every coaching staff is going to get along with every player. I get that. Just my own experiences as a coach, I can tell you there's some teams that absolutely love me. There's been a few that absolutely hate me. So why is that? Well, personalities on the team. Who's ruling the roost? Well, if those rulers don't like you on the team, the leaders, chances are everything else is going to follow suit. When it comes to Kafka, though, it sounds like, and it's limited here, but it does sound like the majority of the Giants really liked him. Some of them actually were pulling for him to get the job. Didn't happen. His offensive beliefs, the New York reporter says he's very balanced, does a good job of balancing run game between pass game and the complexities. He tries to work in some trick plays. If you're a Lions fan, you remember the Giants game. Yes, they had nothing to lose that game. Yes, they rolled the dice on several trick plays. And yes, you could say that kept them in the game. Overall, how did he do in their opinion as the intern coach? They were actually surprised he wasn't a bigger consideration for the head coaching responsibility. Felt like the ownership, though, wanted somebody they knew they could sell the fans, sell the season ticket holders, etc. And Kafka, while he had a lot of strengths, he wasn't that person. Felt like the New York is New York. It is different. It's hard to compete with all the other distractions you have there, not just from sports, but the entertainment industry. This reporter felt like the Giants were in a no-win situation if they wanted to go with Kafka, so they rolled the dice and went with a bigger name, somebody they knew would make a splash in headlines, media, etc., and that's what they wanted to keep season ticket holders happy. All right, with all that done, settled away, let's go over to the main topic of the day and see what you guys have to say. We're going to have to analyze this, and all of us work together on this one. So, 1, 2, 3, main topic of the day. All right, so we all get it. Detroit Lions, they've got some draft picks that, coming of age. We're going to go through this and walk through this because if some of these guys pan out, I think we all agree. Detroit Lions going into the offseason, going into the next free agency and the draft, they're going to be at a good spot. Let's walk through this. If you don't know, this is the 23 draft class, so let's just go through it. Gibbs, I don't think we have to guess about him. Same with Jack Campbell. These two, highly questioned at the time that we made them. There's zero questions about them now. Next two on the list, Sam-Ian Laporta, Brian Branch. The only real the only real questions with these guys, it's just whether or not they're going to be healthy enough to go some point next year or all of next year. It does sound like for multiple reports, Sam Laporta is expected to be back by training camp, and they'll probably take it easy on him in training camp, but by the regular season, he'll be fine. Same cannot be true for Brian Branch. While the top 4 picks for this draft class, I don't think whatever team you support, if you were a Seattle Seahawks fan, a LA Rams fan, you could look at the Lions' top 4 picks here and say, man, these guys were all home run selections. But Brian Branch, because of the Achilles, it's going to come down to a lot of it from what I've heard. Was it a complete tear? Was it a partial tear? Was it a quarter tear? Was it, whatever it was, how quickly can that thing heal up? Maybe he comes back in September. Seems more realistic that it will be October. Hendon Hooker, Broderick Martin, Colby Scorsdale, and Antoine Green. We can all agree these guys have no future with Detroit Lions because they're not here, and they were all busts. You hit big home runs with your first 4 swings of the bat, but you also struck out on the next 4. I'll say this for Green. If he doesn't get that injury, maybe he could have been a special teams player or something in that regard. You went big on Broderick Martin. I get why you rolled the dice on him because he was an athletic freak, just could not develop. And unfortunately, otherwise you probably had something there. Hendon Hooker, have your own opinions on it, but you've had 2 different teams say, yeah, no mas here. I know there was a big section of Lions fandom that said this guy was going to be the guy that replaces Jared Goff. Well, right now he can't replace anybody on the Lions team or in the NFL. So we'll see what shakes out there. All right, let's go to the next list here. And let me pull it up on my respective screen. All right, and there we go. All right, so here's where things I think start getting interesting. Terrion Arnold, I know there are some that really don't like him. I can only give you my opinion. I thought last year he was really growing and developing. Now, I also want to be fair and say for a rookie, his rookie year, I thought he did a very good job. There are going to be people that say, hey, he got flagged too much, held too much. But playing cornerback in the NFL, especially when you're getting matched up with the number 1 or 2 guy on the other team's wide receiver duo, that's a pain. There are so many cornerbacks in this league, let alone Detroit Lions history, that do not pan out year 1, 2, or maybe even 3. Famously, I always talk about Darius Slay or Ray Crockett, because to me, those are the 2 best cornerbacks I've seen for this franchise in the 40 years I've covered it, or whatever it is, 30 plus years I've covered it. Those 2 were aces in the hole, but neither one of them did jack their first 2 years in the league. Conversely, Terrion Arnold has consistently started. He's made some plays. You've seen him, do some stuff here and there. Great in run support. I think the guy is going to pan out. I'm just going to say my opinion does not need to be your opinion. I think he's worked out. The next one here, I can already hear the comments section typing away. Enos Rakestraw, whatever you would call him. Lions made a double down in this particular draft. And so far, Rakestraw has been nothing but hurt. He hasn't done anything other than get some free paychecks, I guess you could say. If he somehow comes around and actually pans out this year, you know what? We've done a phenomenal job of getting the cornerback position in a better position. But right now, I think we can all safely agree, until that happens, you have to assume he is a bust. Right now, he just can't stay healthy. And if you can't stay healthy, you can't play. And if you can't play, you can't impact your career. So right now, unless something else happens, we all probably in agreement that this guy might be very, very athletic, might have done a whole lot of stuff playing corner, safety in college. But you know what? Doesn't mean it's going to pan out the NFL. I hope he does pan out. Next one on this list, pick round 4, pick 126. He is the big question mark going into this season. What happens with Giovanni Manu? Sort of like we're talking about, Rakestraw is an athletic freak. Well, this guy, if Rakestraw is a freak, then this guy is Superman, because he is tall as heck, powerful as heck, athletic as all get out. Giovanni Manu, if he's somehow in year 3, talking to a whole lot of former NFL offensive linemen or listening to him, they say about 70%, maybe 80% of NFL draft picks on the offensive line really have to get to the 3rd training camp to really know, do you have something or not? Manu, the man-child, if he does pan out, Lions have a massive roll of the dice for a 4th-round pick that will be as athletic as anybody you're going to get in round 1, 2, or 3. Last year's draft, this year's draft, 2 years to go. The question is, has he done enough growing? He came from nowhere. We all get it. Had nothing really from a technical standpoint. My opinion was, by the end of training camp of the preseason his rookie year, you could see growth. Now, take that with a grain of salt. If he was a 5th string left tackle his rookie year, I'd say by the end of training camp, he was a 4th stringer. And last year, I want to be fair and try to throw shade at him as possible. When he got in against the Bengals, yeah, he got roasted a couple times. He did make some nice plays. My opinion at that point was he was like a 3rd stringer. So if he can somehow just get to a 2nd string backup quality guy that can give you some meaningful snaps at either tackle spot, Lions, is he a starter? No, but did you get something out of him? The answer would be yes. Next one here, Sione Vaki. He's as Gibbs-like without being Gibbs. If you watch him in preseason, watch him in the games, the 1 or 2 times he's been healthy enough to get in a game, everybody sees what he has. The guy is athletic. See where we're going here? The Lions rolled the dice on a bunch of athletic guys. They just need to pan out. Vaki can catch it. He can line up in the slot. He can line up as a running back. He can play everywhere on offense, basically, outside of tight end. And you can get something for him. The question is, can he stay healthy, sort of like Rakestraw, enough to play? If we see David Montgomery get traded or moved off of this offseason, it's my personal belief it's because the Lions really believe in Vaki. The only problem or question I have is, can Vaki stay healthy enough? Next one on this list, and this is where the Lions may have hit a couple home runs here. Mekhi Wingo, we all get it. He's not a defensive tackle. He's not really a defensive end. He's somewhere in between, but he does a lot of good stuff. Last year, he got back from his ACL injury way fast, and then we didn't really see much from him. It's just my guess. I don't have any corroborating information for this, but my guess is the knee injury, sort of like we saw with Lee McNeil, was just slowing him down. And if he can come into the 3rd preseason and do some good stuff, then maybe he's a competent backup who, again, can play multiple spots. We know Dan Campbell likes that. Until he can do that, though, or a few of these guys can do this, I'm going to say Rakestraw, Vaki, Wingo, Manu, they're all big question marks. But how much different does the Lions team look if 2 of these guys pan out going into next year? 3 of them, if all 4 could pan out, then you know what? The Lions' depth across that roster can look real good. Last one on this list, this is where the Lions may have really got a home run pick here, and that's Christian Mahogany. I know there are some people that when he was drafted, I think it was like halfway through the rookie year, I thought from what I was seeing of him in practice and games, just whatever information I get on, I thought he looked real good. And I know some of you came after me and said, man, you're fake news or whatever because, you hadn't seen it. And you're right to question it. But his rookie year, when he finally did get in, he put up 3 elite grades in like 4 games. The kid's got a whole lot of stuff. Now, this last year, I will say this, I think he took a step backwards. The question is that because the Lions offensive line as a totality took a step backwards? Is it because he broke a leg? Breaking a fibula is no joke. But whatever it is, I think you got something there, especially going into year 3. And the fact that you got him in the 6th round, basically near the end of the 6th round pick, if he really pans out to be just stable and the offensive line for a guard, I think you got a real good pick there. Although if you look at Mel Kiper, he's saying the Lions are going to take a guard from Penn State, Lone, in which I get he's an athletic freak in nature. So what do you do with Christian Mahogany at that point? I don't know. Maybe he's just a swing backup, but we'll have to wait and see what the Lions do this offseason. I'm sure you guys can see where we're going with all these. There's a lot of potential, a lot of promise with all these guys. Now, just need them all to pan out. All right. Getting to last year's draft. Tyleik Williams, a divisive one to Lions fans because you either liked the way he played or you thought he was terrible. My personal opinion, I thought he did pretty well. My personal opinion is also when you drafted him, you knew you weren't getting somebody who was going to give tons of up-the-gut pressure on opposing quarterbacks. He's out there to stuff the run, and if he can do more than that, that's a bonus. My opinion for a rookie, he did that, and he did it well. He busted up some plays. So, towards the end of the year, you could see him generating a little bit more pressure up the gut. I don't think he's ever going to be great at it. It's just not in his wheelhouse, but I think he's pretty dang good at shutting down the run. Ratledge, sort of like Chris Mahogany, I don't think there's any kind of fluke that Ratledge struggled at times earlier in the year, like Christian Mahogany, when it came to defending pass protection or run blocking. Most younger offensive linemen take time to gel into NFL offensive linemen. So I think as both of them improve, you'll see the Lions offensive line improve. And if Ratledge continues to do what he did the last month of the season, you're probably going to see him become a Pro Bowler. Christian Mahogany, I think, has the potential to become a Pro Bowler if he can get healthy, stay healthy, which is a big if with some Lions players. Isaac TeSlaa, he's probably going to be a trivia question or answer, I should say, to a question for years to come. There's fans that absolutely love this guy. Fans that absolutely hate the fact that we gave up like 53rd round picks for him. I'm not going to worry about what we gave up to get him at this point because it's relevant information. I can't change it. You can't change it. All I can worry about now is he got a future with this team? Most would agree that, yes, he is big, he's fast, he run blocks. Could he be converted to tight end? Man, if they can do that, he's going to be a massive problem in pass coverage for a tight end. Whatever he is, offensive wide receiver or offensive tight end, I think they got it right here is all I can say. Miles Frazier, we can all probably agree if he doesn't have confirmed knee situation going on into the NFL scouting combine, etc., he's probably a 2nd round pick. The Lions rolled the dice on a guy. Stop me when you heard this before with Brad Holmes with an injured history, and they got him in the 5th round. Now, Frazier's got to clean up some technique, but we all get it. Sort of like we talked with other people on this list while you're talking. Ray Stroud, Giovanni Manosian-Vaki, you guys get it. He's athletically gifted, and he can move in space. Something in the past we haven't had with Glasgow or other offensive linemen. Miles Frazier, though, he's listed as an offensive guard, but you all know he can play tackle. He has played center to a certain degree. He can play guard. He's got flexibility. How much flexibility, how much he develops by next year, we'll have to wait and see, but the Lions might have something there. This one's a big one for all Lions fans. We all love Ahmed Hassanin, and I think we get it. The guy has got a motor. He's just got something about him you can't really put into words, but when you see him, either working out in the gym or on the football field, you guys just say, yeah, that's it. What do you want to call it, grit or whatever? He runs through walls. He doesn't stop. He's the Terminator out there. You can't bargain with him. You can't negotiate with him. You just got to unleash him. And if he does get fully healthy, which I do believe at this point he does, then maybe, is he ever going to be a starter for the team? I'd say that's questionable. Is he going to be a nice rotational piece coming off the edge, giving you some fresh legs to get up to the quarterback? That seems more logical to me. All right, next one on this list, Dan Action Jackson. When the Lions drafted him, they knew, sort of like so many of these other draft picks we talked about, athletically very gifted, but got injured, and he had very little playing experience as far as a starter goes at safety when he was in college. But with that also being said, Lions knew he was going to be a project to develop. He got injured early in training camp, out for the year. I think he's probably on the wrong side of the numbers game for the safety position. If the Lions didn't have injuries to Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, maybe Jackson gets a little bit more time to grow and develop. I just don't see that happening. I think they're going to have to invest some draft capital or free agency stuff into the safety spot to try to firm it up going into the next season. Means probably Jackson is on the outside out. Now, the last one here is probably one of the biggest ones out there because we talk a lot about athletic freaks. We talk about stuff you can't teach, speed, size, etc. Dominic Lovett's got all that stuff. And if you listen to Amon-Ra St. Brown, he thinks both him, Jameson Williams came out a lot towards the end of the year saying Dominic Lovett could be a really good NFL wide receiver. If he can develop, route structure, mechanics, getting in and out of breaks better, usage of hands, how to create space, all that stuff, Lions might have hit a home run here. Now, keep that with a grain of salt, what a home run would be for a pick number 244, seventh-round pick. Can he come in and be your number 4 wide receiver? Can he come in and be kick, punt return guy? If he did that, he got that out of him, you know what? With all of his athleticism, to me, that's a home run. I don't think he's ever going to supplant St. Brown, Jameson Williams, or Tesla for snaps unless somebody's injured. But you got one of the faster guys in the NFL with some decent size that can fill multiple different roles. That sounds like a home run to me. All right, I presented, just notice the time, a whole lot of evidence for you guys to chew on and marinate on. Where do you think the Lions could potentially really alter the future of this team if some of these guys pan out? And yes, I know the bottom 4 on this list, they're not doing anything for Detroit unless they're re-signed. But on this list, I think we all get it. There are a whole lot of rolls of the dice here. And if 2 of these guys pan out, 2 more of these guys pan out, you've got a really good setup for next year. If 3 or 4 of them can pan out, that's real good. And then last year's draft class, for the most part, I like it. But you know what? You got to see results on the field. All right, let's get over to you guys. I'm going to, since we're already past 7:30, I'm going to have to start early by saying, hey, I'm going to look for people who haven't been on as much, so I'll try to get everybody in. Please work with me. All right, Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. What? Question mark. The freak come out in MM yesterday. Bullet dodged. Woo! All right, I guess maybe something I missed. I'm not 100% sure on that. Good morning, folks. This is Johnny Conan. What do you have for us today, Coach? Question mark. Morning, everyone. And back to you, Vincent. Good morning, Coach Dan. And same to you, Vincent. Jim. Good morning, Coach Dan. And Duke Crew, spring is spring is coming, but who knows when? Yes, and even though I got a little tongue-tied twist there. Johnny, I'm sick of this weather. Some people are. Big Eddie, correct me if I'm wrong, but it also looks like draft picks that so far are bust. Could be accurate. Just Breakstraw needs to win a 53-man roster spot this year or he's done. Med was only a rookie last season, but he has time. Manu could be a legit swing backup at tackle. Yeah, I don't know if Giovanni Manu's ever going to be a starter. If he is, the Lions really hit big with that. Johnny Big Eddie, if they are bust, Brad's going to get them. Well, what's he going to get them? Maybe delicious Mountain Dew from your local Circle K. David, need to put Baki on that list. I would agree. Maybe Hagney and Frazier also. Arnold, for the most part, has worked out. Yeah, I have no regrets about the Arnold pick. Let's see, Jen, good morning. All exclamation point, back at you. Johnny, don't mind my blabbering. I just woke up. It happens. We all just wake up. Marsha, I have hopes for Manu, exclamation point. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Hoodoo, good morning, Duke Crew, One Pride. It is time to play Duck, Duck, Goose to see who stays and who goes. Fair enough. Maybe that's how they'll handle it. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Listen, if Manu, Christian Mahogany, and Frazier don't work out and are busts, That really hurts the team. I think Christian and Miles will be fine. Not sure on Manu. We'll see with all of them. This will be a big training camp for a few of them. Johnny, thanks a lot. Ozzy Osbourne. Now we are snowblind. All right. Let's see. Hookadoo, Johnny L, Jen, Bo, Grip Morning, all. Jess, your name is Sanitations, Duke. It's an endless cycle. What do we need every offseason? Edge, corner, offensive line. Could be a level of truth to that. Johnny, how are you feeling today, Hookadoo? Shamir, greetings, Salutations, Duke Crew family. Back at you. I think Ahmed is going to be a beast. I agree with that. Hookadoo, better, Johnny L. I was out of it for 2 days. I know the feeling. Johnny, I'm glad you're feeling better, man. 100%. Adam, Mike Kafka is a perfect backup plan for Drew Petzing doesn't work out. I agree. Could be give you some flexibility there, right, Adam? Drake, we all know Brad's track record with drafting defensive line has not been good. Every other area or more or less has been, though. I would say there's a lot of truth to that. Riley, good morning. Coach Dan and the Duke crew, 100% strong. Feels like we haven't seen a hot second there, Riley, although I know it's super early where you are in Utah. Oscar Blade, good morning, all. Exclamation point. May your Duke crew brew be warm and tasty. I'll go with all that. Let's see, Hookadoo. Shabir, I totally agree. Ahmed, it's going to turn some heads. I think he is going to turn some heads with an exclamation point. Johnny, been waiting for Ahmed to come over here and play. He will have that opportunity next year. France, personally speaking, only. I think Frazier and Mahogany are starters next year. I could see that. I do not have hopes for Manu. Yeah, I don't know if he'll start, but he could be a nice rotational piece. Hookadoo, Riley and Moonscar, top of the morning, fellas. Back at you all. Dre Day, not all draft picks are meant to be starters. As long as they make the 53-man roster, it's not a bust, in your opinion. When they don't stay longer than their rookie contracts, they are bust like Hooker and Martin. Fair enough. Gary, morning, everyone. Same to you. Susan, France, if they start along with Rant and Sewell, then we really only need a center. That would be accurate because, only 5 are going to start on that line. Hookadoo, good morning, Carrie. Oh, yeah. Amy, good morning to our fabulous coach and our fabulous Duke crew with some exclamation points. And back at you. Johnny, Dan Miller says, have a great day, everybody. Yeah, and I think yesterday was his birthday, if I'm not mistaken. Hookadoo, Amy, great morning, young lady. Steve Rogers, people freak out if a rookie doesn't pan out year one. There's probably a level of accuracy to that. Dennis, linemen usually take a little time to adjust the NFL. I concur. Johnny, this is very true. Dennis, Jen, good morning. Hookadoo. Pat, Dose just had his mock draft number 3. Coach, you're slacking. Hey, I just don't like doing them all the time because really how much information changes from week to week, and that's just my thing. I'll have another one coming out shortly, though. Troy, do the Vikings regret not signing Sam? I would think so. I would think very much so. So, I'm excited this year for free agency in the draft. I do believe Brad goes shopping. I think that would be great if he did. I'll put it that way. Johnny, absolutely 100%. Tori, Jimmy, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan of the Duke. How's everyone doing today? Doing well. How about you? Hopefully you're having a good time. I think you're down in Texas right now. Maybe it was Florida. I don't remember. One of those places. You're down south where it's a little warmer. Mary, good morning, Duke crew. Back at you, Queen. Dre Day, I think the Vikings were in a tough position to either admit JJ was not the answer or trade Darnold. That's a tough choice at the moment. Yeah, and they let Darnold go, and they probably regret that a little bit. Johnny, he better Sosimo. Okay, just another week of the storm. I think that's right. I want to say we get through next week, and then it starts changing, but who knows, man? We'll find out. Jimmy, good morning, Queen Mary. Moonscar. Belichick, not a first ballot automatic Hall of Famer, was ridiculous. If anyone deserves that, it's him. Yeah, I saw something about that. I didn't pay a ton of attention to it. Congrats to Billy Sims, though, as for being some sort of nomination for the Hall of Fame. So congrats, Billy Sims. 5 fingers ready. Warriors feel Brady made Bill. That could be accurate. Johnny L. Moonscar, who did get into the Hall of Fame this year? I don't think it's been nominated yet, but as far as being, for the ballot list, that's where I think Belichick got left out. Queen Mary, good morning. James, Hookadoo, Johnny L., Carrie, Jen, and Amy, all the above. Dennis, Sanders in Pro Bowl really cheapened it up, in my opinion. Yeah, I haven't really paid attention to the Pro Bowl, maybe in like 20 years. It's not for me anymore. Jen, Groundhog Day coming. That little critter better now see his shadow. Let's hope he does. Carrie, morning, my queen. Any more junior? Guten Muten. Yep, I'm not going to get that one. Good morning, my friends. Yep, I'm guessing that's language. Maybe. I'm not sure. Anyways, Ezra Gray, good morning. Dan of the Duke Group, back at you. Jimmy, it looks like Aaron Glenn's job might be in jeopardy after all from what I heard after he let go of much of his coaching staff. Yeah, I think there's only like 2 or 3 coaches left on staff from the start of last year. I mean, he really gutted the ship. Jimmy, good morning, Hookadoo. Byron Thomas, what do you got? Good morning, Dan, the world famous New Crew. And back at you, my friend. Hookadoo, Queen Mary and James, good morning. Jimmy, Johnny L, good morning to you. King SJ, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Always a great day to have you around, King. Carrie, watch what AG puts together this year. Only thing I have is you hired these people all less than 12 months ago. You want to know why a lot of people don't want to interview with the Jets? They're afraid if the Jets don't win, you're terminating them right away. So do you turn down other jobs for this job? I don't know. To each their own. Big D, good morning, crew! Exclamation point. Robert Yankee, woo! And back at you. Lauren, good morning, Duke Crew. Made it in time. Glad to have you here. Queen Mary, Hoodoo, how are you feeling today? Hopefully better, my brother. 100%. Queen Mary, good morning. Lauren, Hookadoo, much better. Thank you, my queen. Johnny, show has just started. Peace out. I'll see you until tomorrow morning. We'll see you then, my friend. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Gary, greetings, salutations, Coach of Duke Crew. The other day we talked about free agents. Do you think cornerback Dion from Tampa Bay could be on their radar? Question mark. Free agent and bigger quarterback. I know the Lions looked at him, I want to say a year, maybe it was 2 years ago. And then, Tampa Bay just re-signed him. Now, could he come in? I think if the Lions are going to play more zone coverage and less man, the answer is yes, Gary. Carrie, hit the like button. I will try to do that. And hopefully you guys can all hit the like and subscribe. Dre Day, unpopular take, but trade J-Mo for a center. Maybe they will. Well, how about that? Jackie, what do you got? Good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Moodscar Blade. Johnny, I don't think they voted yet, but Drew Brees and Eli Manning are on the ballot. How about that? And Eli Manning's claim to fame is, hey, he beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. He's 2-0 against Brady in Super Bowls. But you're going to trade with Dre Day? We'll find out who we would trade with. I don't know. Same old soup, just reheated. Good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. Back at you. Hassan Malley, good morning, Coach Dan, and the Duke Crew team. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. Dre Day, Baltimore can use a receiver, and they got, we'll see if they can work that out. JK, in your opinion, do the final grain wrap around? All right. Ready. Apparently, Josh Allen needs a receiver. That might be accurate. Jimmy, good morning. Hassani Madley. Brian, good morning, everyone. One OC is a pass specialist. The other OC is a run specialist. These guys will have the best offense on the field. Let's hope so. That would be great for the team. What can I do? Great afternoon, Mr. Hassani. I'm so ready for next season and seeing Ahmed destroy some defenses. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. I would think we all would love that. JK, morning, Hassan Madley. Hassan Madley, good morning, all my friends watching too. Mr. Hookadoo, get healthy. Let's see, Storm, what do you got? Good morning, everyone. Back at you, Storm. How you doing today? Storming away or surviving the storm? Bubbles, how our OC staff works it out is going to be interesting. 100%. Inquiring minds want to know those answers. Trim Reaper, good morning, Coach Dan, the mighty Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Woo! Back at you. Jimmy, Coach Dan. Let's keep Dave Montgomery on the fold and utilize his skill sets better. I agree with that. Yeah, I don't think you get better trading away talent. Hookadoo, feel much better. Thank you, Mr. Hassani. David, greeting salutations, Coach of Duku. Back at you, David. Queen Mary, good morning, Trim, Mr. Hassani. Let's see, Landboy, what do you got? It's crazy that Monty was only 270-ish yards away from a 1,000-yard season for as little as we use them. That speaks volumes, if you ask me. We have a legit two-headed monster. We got to use them. Let's get it done, 100%. Troy Hitter, what do you got? Good morning, Hass. Queen Mary, I say no to coming back on him. All right. Good morning, Mary. Says Trim Reaver. TaylorMade Media. I was wondering why Scotty Montgomery didn't get bumped to the Lions OC. My dang self. Yeah, I don't know. I know he's getting interviews from other teams. Why didn't they do it? They nearly gave him the job last year. So why would that really change this year? There must be something we're not aware of. The only thing I can guess, Taylor. All right, Phil. Hello, Phil. Gibbs can't block. He's not Dave Montgomery at blocking. How about that? Dre Day, he can get or ran over very well, though. Yes, that might be accurate. David, Scotty probably didn't get OC because the Lions offense needs a different look for the upcoming season. Could be a possibility. You want somebody outside of the family. Silent Service, good morning, Duke Crew. Good to see you, man. It's been a hot second. Dre Day, wonder if the Lions can trade with the Falcons, Gibbs for a B-John. Maybe. See, Chief, what do you got in barbecue? Gibbs is going to get a big check and then show why they shouldn't have given him that much. He can't gain the hard yards. He's a big hole runner, not a smash and plow a guy like D Money. That might be true. Leslie Malik, good morning, Jen. Moonscar, Blade, Big Eddie, Queen, Mary, etc. Let's see, Lion Dog, Sonic Knuckles compliment each other. The problem is they need to be used correctly based on the schemes. Yeah, and maybe that's where the new OCs come into play and have a good idea for it. Queen Mary, somebody got to get out of bed on the side of the morning. We ain't trading Gibbs, period. No, I would hope not. Dre Day, I know they aren't trading Gibbs just like they are not trading J-Mo. Just my personal wishes. It happens. Phil, players didn't like you, coach. How is that possible? Not everybody likes everybody. I mean, think about, anything in life. Two people don't always get along. I would say if I had to put a number on it, probably like 97% of the players I've ever coached, male or female, they probably love it because I like to joke around, and plus the type of offense. Everybody gets to shoot it when we're talking basketball. But, you also have to take away people's playing time. You also have to tell people sometimes they're not a starter or not going to make a team. When that happens, when you cut them, whether it's football, volleyball, tennis, or whatever, people get upset. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan Duker. What a team. What podcast. Exclamation point. What a time. Be a Lions fan. Woo! Hookadoo. Mary, they are just paid alligators. Okay. Queen Mary, good morning, Henry. Jimmy, we're not trading away Gibbs for draft capital. End of story. Probably accurate. Henry Moore, good morning, Queen Mary. Hookadoo. Johnny L. Hookadoo, good morning, Mr. Henry Moore. Henry Moore, good morning, Mr. Hassan. Dre Day, looks like a 50-50 class, draft class for the first one you showed, Coach. Yes, and that would have been 23. I mean, the top four, they are lights out. The bottom four, not so much. All right, Henry Moore, I slept in today. Wow, I never do that. Sometimes you got to do that, right? Dennis, I will take another class like that. 4 home runs at the top is awesome. It was awesome. Jimmy, Kobe scores, that was a complete joke. Exclamation point. Is he still with the Lions? I don't think so. I could be wrong there. Kim, all the hype around Hooker took a long time to fizzle. Some fans wanted him to start ahead of Goff. Goes to show the crowd mentality. Yeah, and the other part of it is I think sometimes as fans, we just get enamored with somebody's name. We don't really know a whole lot about them, but we heard somebody talk about them, and you see a highlight or two. I get into it. Some people, like all the years I coached in college, here's what I'll say. Every time and every coach I ever worked for that had the same philosophy on highlight reels, throw them out. Because a highlight reel only shows you what I want you to see about me. You really want to know somebody, watch the full game. Because you know what? Here would be the stance I have. If you're an athlete, high school, college, professional, and you can't put together a highlight reel, how bad do you suck? That would be my most blunt way to put it. So highlight reels, yeah, they don't get you drafted. They don't get you recruited. So I'll go that way. All right, ready. 4 out of 6 is actually a pretty good draft class in the second one. Yes, agreed. And Brad Holmes, to his credit, he's been right about 75% of the time. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. Let me power through and get people on who haven't been on as much, even though I started off by saying that. Queen Mary, Henry, when your body says rest, your mind tends to listen. Get your rest. Glad you made it in. 100%. Eddie, I think that Kobe Scoresdale, if given a chance to play in this year's preseason, I think he'll be fine. He's played the last couple, and obviously the Lions coaching staff just went a different way. Andrade, Wingo and Rayshaw are the only potential busts. Manu will stay on the roster as a backup offensive line in depth. Yeah, could be. Yeah, I think he's going to more or less replace Dan Skipper as far as that kind of role. David, 'tis the season, Henry. It's just winter hibernating setting in. It could be. See, Big M. Good morning, Dan Ducru. Please, no more Project Spread. We'll find out. Jimmy, Enos Rakestraw is another bust package. Manu, Scoresdale, Rakestraw for draft picks. The only problem is somebody's got to be willing to give you something for them. If we don't think they're good, will somebody else? I don't know. Maybe they will. Eddie, I think Sionovaki should be released because he has not proven anything. I saw a report that if left tackle Taylor Decker does not retire, he could be cut or released. Yeah, I think the end is fairly close for Taylor Decker. Dr. Detroit, yes, I agree. If any one of them could stay healthy and we're good, this would be a decent draft. I agree with you there. As we're great, hopefully Manu doesn't become the Martin of all the size, strength, and talent, but no headspace for knowledge. Yeah, and it sounds like he's putting in the work, just whether or not that. I think he's come a long way. But on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, 1 being low, if you were a 3, which I'm going to say Manu was a 3 when we draft him, and you became a 6, I mean, you've increased your abilities a ton. Is that enough to really impact the roster other than backup depth? Probably. I mean, maybe not. We're going to do Big M. Brad's on a hot seat. He doesn't have time for projects. That could be. Pat, good morning, Duke Crew. Bus driver Brett, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Hit that thumbs up button and woo! Got a late start, so I'm 25 minutes behind on the show. No worries about that. Just glad to always have you part of the show. Dark Detroit, this draft is an example of poor judgment. Arnold is the exception. Might be accurate. You know who? The injury-prone class of 24 is the best ability, is availability. The entire class is potential bust. It's possible. Thomas, worst case on Manu, if he could just take over Skipper's role, that would be great. If not, put him on the D-line. We'll see if they do. JK, you're not future planning if you don't draft all the projects, Martin, in the 5th, 6th rounds. Answer, I'll go with that. Yes, in your opinion. Hookadoo. Rip morning. Pat. Jimmy, if Taylor Decker doesn't retire, I have the feeling he's being released in the league new year. Yeah, it could be. Dr. Detroit, Tracker needs to go sad but true. Taylor Decker. I got you. JK Martins. Decker. Yeah, I got you, Dr. D. Matt, good morning, Hookadoo. How you feeling this morning? And now you know, Dre Day, 6 out of 7 on the plus side of the last year's draft. Might be. Eddie, I think that the Lions should not keep injured players. I think that if the Lions should keep David Montgomery, Vaki is injured too much, waste of money. Might be. Hookadoo, thumbs up much better. Jimmy, looking for, in hindsight, the Lions should have drafted Sauce Gardner. Maybe. Dr. Troy, I love Tesla, but we gave up way too much. Another example of poor judgment. Could be. All grit, says Pat. Easy. Dan Jackson, baby, we're going to need him this year. Let's hope he pans out. David, Decker is most likely on the clock, and the alarm is about to ring. A decision will be made by him or the organization. That's just my opinion. Yeah, if I'm them, probably 2 weeks before free agency start, I'm telling Taylor Decker, love you to death, but we're not going through another Frank Ragnow. You need to let us know right here, right now, what are you doing? Because Ragnow, heck of a player, but he hung the team out to dry to a certain degree by letting him go through free agency. Nah, I'm good. Letting you go through the draft. Nah, I'm good. A few weeks later, nah, I'm not so good. I'm going to retire. All right, Thomas, our pass blocking must get much better. I would agree with that, and the run blocking. 30th ain't going to hack it. Run blocking also cannot stay at 20th. Get better too, but ultimately the D is our issue. Probably all the above. Let's see, damn Lions fan, I would not extend Gibbs. You got to get this year and next year, then think about it. Okay. Moonscar Blade, JK, if you met Broderick Martin, he was a 3rd round and 96 overall. What a waste. Had all the potential in the world, but the potential never lived up to the hype. Dr. Detroit, yeah, what about 30th ranked defense? Eddie, I like Miles Frazier. I think that he just upside, leave him at guard. He plays better at that position. Yeah, then what do you do with Ratledge or Chris Mahogany? And it's a nice problem to have that you have potentially 3 real good young developmental guards. David Tesla was a great pick in your opinion. I like him. Odds the JK. We all love him, Ed, but we haven't seen him on the field, so trusting his dad for now. Fair enough. Dr. Detroit, nice player, but we gave up too much until the hunt. Dr. Detroit, yeah, how can you be sure they gave up too much for Tesla? His 2nd season hasn't even started. We were wrong about Gibbs, Campbell, JMO. I wouldn't wait until you make assumptions. So it could be. I don't know. Jimmy, good morning. Great show. Thank you for the kind words, my friend. See, Mark, a lot of hope, and he pans out if he pans out his players. Okay. Jimmy, the Lions have to do too much more blocking and tackling both sides of the ball. Let's see if they can do all that, though. Thomas, Dan Jackson could be, quote, the one. Surprise. We shall see. Hoodoo, Med the Egyptian god of power. Horus. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Dr. Detroit, Attila Hutton, shake my head. Johnny Gas, good morning. Dan the Duke Crew, exclamation point. Dr. Detroit, hex, yeah, we need more wide receivers. Yeah, we'll see if we convert any of them to tight ends, maybe. Let's see. Mark, love it. Can't catch. No, that's something he's going to have to develop. But if you listen to J-Mo and St. Brown, they said he made some big strides this year. If he can do that with his size and speed, and if he can become consistent, you might have something there. Dennis, I like the show today. Question, exclamation point. Let other groups do 50 mock drafts today. Got me thinking. Hey, I try to make you think a little bit. And something wrong with mock drafts. I think we all love them. I just don't want to do like 90 of them. See, Queen Mary, good morning, Johnny Guest. Thomas, love it. Again, we shall see. Never saw him at all last year. If he can't be the new TK85, maybe. I don't see it so far. Again, we shall see. We shall see indeed. Jameson, Dan Jackson went to Georgia. Yes, I did notice that too. I think they had him listed on Florida. Let's double check that. I think it was Florida on there. Yeah, Florida. But yeah, he went to Georgia. He was a Bulldog. All right, JK, third pick, 96 overall was a waste. Who would have known? Nobody's going to hit on 100% of the picks. At least we get more right than wrong. That's what I'm going to go with. You know who? Attila, just an opinion, dude. Chill out. Your opinion ain't law. What the heck? I'll go with that. Let's see. Eddie, I like Edge Med Hassani. I hope that we keep him. I would like to say hi to his family. Well, they're in the chat, so say hi. Thomas again, if Decker retires, Sewell to left tackle, Frazier right tackle. Maybe that's what they'll do. Riley, Lions Talk Live, 100% strong. We try to work out here. I'll go with that. Bo, Mike McDaniel interview by Pat McAfee was interesting. I'll check it out. Jackie, 50% hit rate last two draft classes. We'll see. Real life, Bright. The Lions need to stop with the projects. We are too far along and need a Super Bowl. We do need a Super Bowl. Lion Dog, Seahawks, free agent, wide receiver, kick returner, or sure would look good for on Lions. That would be nice for sure. Thomas, Attila, I wasn't wrong on Gibbs, J-Mill, and Campbell. I was exact when we drafted all three. Excited. How about that? Big M, big season coming up for the players Dan brought up this morning. The bigger season is the brand and MCDC. They have to get it right this season or they will lose a huge part of the Lions Nation. Might be a lot of truth to that. Let's see, David, if Seattle wins Super Bowl, Rashid gets price goes up. Might be. Pat, I'm glad we didn't end up with McDaniels. Fair enough. Thomas, heads up, Seattle 30, New England 24. Ooh, that'd be a close one. David, Lions have an offense of dynamic duos, just need a Pro Bowl tight end. Well, see what happens. Tell her, don't worry about Mox until after the combine. Everything changes. Plus, they just have to shine the Shine and Senior Bowl coming up. Yes, indeed. China, we got what happened to global warming. I don't know. I'll let somebody else handle that. It's not part of the show. JK, Mike Monopolis? All right, I'm not sure. China Pro Bowler stinks since they moved from Hawaii. Yeah, it's just, I mean, when I was a kid watching it, or in the 70s, 80s, I guess you could even say the 90s, I mean, it was a game. Now it's, I understand you want to keep people healthy. All right, Dan, the Lions fan, I don't think we can win the current construction of the team, coach, and GM. Maybe. Thomas, question, why isn't our offensive line coach getting any heat? He showed nothing last year. We all heard how great he is, exclamation point. Then when we needed him the most, O-line tanked. It did tank a little bit. David, I don't think it happens. China, Dan, Lions fan, correct, Brad isn't aggressive enough to win a Super Bowl. Tilla, Dan, any reason or just repeating what other people are saying? I guess I don't know what you mean by that. I'm just reading through the comment section. Big M, Dan, Lions fan, I agree. Thomas, I bonked like y'all. Yeah, if you guys can hit the like, subscribe, you guys get the drill. JK, scratching with nails. All right, it happens. You got to scratch something, right? Oh, offensive line coach lost two Pro Bowl linemen, had two rookies starting, and a washed-up center. Probably did an incredible job with what we had. Question mark. Everyone think about that. Well, I will think about that. Thomas, tell 100% on mock drafts. Gosh, I hate to be doing that for 4 months. Some people, enjoy it. I don't know. I try not to do too much. You know who? Tell any reason you and DK or you just like join. All right. Let's see, Thomas. Yes, exclamation. Get back to Sonic Knuckles. I think they will. Orlando, Brad Holmes built a good quality team through the draft, so people need to get off him. I would say, yeah, he's done a good job. Big M not winning anything with Shep as DC. Bo, personal or money or out the line. Fair enough. Randy Q, what's up, peeps? Not too much. Hopefully have some information about the Cavs for you. I know you want one, man. And I know a bunch of you guys want one. Lion Dog, if we are surprised with Ragnow unretiring for next season and Decker freshens up and decides to play one more season, will the Lions spend on free agents and draft picks for the D? We'll find out. I don't know. Drade, you know who has a personal vendetta with Attila, apparently? Who? I guess I don't know. Thomas, Attila, that's my point. Our coach and the offensive line was great with great talent. Just admit it, he showed nothing with what he had. Fair enough. the chill dude, just opinions. We all have them. Yeah, we all have opinions. Just the troll says, Dilla, Dennis, different opinions make for good discussions. Important to stay respectful when you disagree. I agree with that. Be kind to each other when somebody has a different point of view than you. Not really. His comments to others' opinions don't come off the right way. That's all. Everyone got a right to their own opinion. Yeah, 100%. Everybody has their own opinions, right? I'll tell Laughing Out Loud, St. Brown, bring up the best in the uneducated fan base. All right. You don't know me, and I never heard of you. Fair enough. Tell I had too much. Definitely 100%. Okay, let's get through some of the disagreeing. JK Funny, good morning, says Dennis. Queen Mary, have a good and safe day. Do crew, stay safe. See you all in the morning. We'll see you then, Queen. China Ragnow, Decker, and Glasgow will on the team for one last run. Let's see if they will. All three are friends. They are friends. Brian, European Lions should have drafted in Ragnow's replacement a year or two before he was drafted. You always need to be looking forward. I blamed Lions, not Ragnow. Fair enough. Big M might need 3. Thomas looking like it. Not sure about Laporta or Wright making it back. We'll find out. Hey, more. Have a glorious day, my friends. I'll chat with y'all tomorrow. Have a great day, my friend. Hookadoo, happy trails, do crew, one Pride Worldwide. Enjoy the Pride. Brian, year or two before I retired, I meant. Yeah, year or two. Fair enough. With Scarblade, I'm curious to see if Ragnow gives it another go after the season's off. We'll find out. Mary, coach question, where do you want me to send my info for the shipping? You can send it to me, I guess, on Facebook or something like that. Or obviously you can get my phone number off the show and text it over to me. Good morning, Jake K. Hookadoo, I was wondering the same thing, Moonscar Blade. Lion Dog, the Duke Crew cap is nice and would keep my head warm when shoveling snow. Well, wife is working on that. I'll try to get you guys more information, hopefully tomorrow. Master Tom, why isn't anyone talking about Seth McCollum competing for the center position? I think he has a high ceiling. Maybe he will. I don't know. I haven't really looked into him much. Des, headed to the barn. Have a great day, all. Enjoy your day. Attila, wasn't referring to you, Coach. It happens, man. It happens. Dane Lions fan comment earlier. Okay. Now, as far China global warming refers to an average global temp and the extremes of temperatures getting more extremes. Fair enough. Let's see. Hookadoo, Shadow Man, Grip Morning. You have a shake your head at the diners. All right. Miles Meyer, Grip Morning, Hookadoo. Tillahan, have a great day, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Heading over to Rock. Yeah, okay. Yep. I don't really talk about that guy for reasons you guys probably all know. All right. You guys all have a great day. Enjoy it. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. And we'll see you guys all on the next Lions Talk Live. Have a good one, all.